0 to 60 can define a performance car, but it's the fastest 60 to 0 that's the aim of Tarox brakes. From road cars to race cars, circuits, special stages, or the autostrada, nothing reduces speed like Tarox brakes. Italy gave the world the art of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Tarox has given drivers the art of stopping. For more information and to acquire your own masterpiece, visit tarox.co.uk. Yes, it's me, Mike Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver Podcast. I'd like to welcome to the Backseat Driver radio show Gabriel Lindström from Sweden. Good morning, Gabriel. Have I pronounced your name correctly?
Yeah, that is 100% correctly.
Right.
Yeah, and good morning to you, Mark.
Good morning. Now, the one thing we know about Gabriel is he is a Citroen 2CV fan because you've restored one. But the one thing I have discovered, full enough reading an article in a magazine, the 2CV and the restoration of it means a lot more to you than it does to a lot of other people who've restored cars. I mean, your little Citroen has quite an interesting story to tell, or you have an interesting story to tell that the little 2CV is part of. Can you just explain about it all, Gabriel?
Yeah, sure. It's quite a long story, but it all started actually from when I was quite young, maybe around 14 actually, because me and my dad, we didn't have the perfect, father and son connection. So, and when I started to get older, I was quite interested in mopeds and motorcycles and stuff like that. My dad was a very big fan of motorcycles and in general quite fan of everything with an engine in it. So, but then he saw that I had the same of attraction to old machines, and we started to get very close. And I received, I didn't receive. I actually worked for my own moped because that was the deal. I should always try to do everything myself, because then I learn how the process, works and how where money comes from and all that. So, because my friends and I was like talking when I was like 14, and everybody said that I want a brand new moped, and my father has promised that I will receive one when I'm 15. Okay. And then one afternoon I talked to my parents that all of my friends will get a brand new moped when they are 15. So I really want one too. And they looked at each other, was like, no way, you're going to work for your own moped. So that started my drive to working. And fast forward to the Citroen, I was actually when I was 17, I was studying to become a car mechanic, and we had this car project, like paper schoolwork. So the teachers told us that we should write something about cars. It could be like anything, but something related to cars. I was like, okay, so what should I write about? And then I thought, maybe I will talk about something about Formula One, the brake technology, maybe some, maybe turbos or something like that. I didn't actually know what to write about. So the weeks went by, and my dad would come into my room, and he told me or asked me that, have you thought about something to write about? I was like, no, actually, I'm quite stressed out because my teacher wants my paper report quite quickly. So this was like the summertime, the summer holiday. So he told me I have a funny idea. Okay, you can write something about the car restoration, maybe. I was like, okay, car restoration, but I don't have a car to restore. I'm just 17. He was like, yeah, I know, but we could teach you how to restore it, but it should be something easy to work with. It should be something iconic. It should be something quite charming. So we have a list, and I was like, okay, yeah, this could be great. You know, to spend some time with your dad when you're a young boy, it's quite an amazing feeling to connect once again quite strongly, because me and my dad was quite close in this point, because we talked about cars, we talked about restoration, we talked about everything. And then he told me, like, okay, so it's up to you now. So go to like Craigslist, but yeah, in the Swedish type of you know, car ad section. So just look out and see what type of cars you can find. And the main thing is that you're going to buy it with your own money. This is your project, so you should own it, and you should really invest your whole heart and energy into it. So I will just be like the oracle, or the grandmaster. I will just teach you how. If you get stuck, I was like, okay, that's fair. So I was like looking through like several pages, and I saw like the Volvo Amazon, I saw a Renault 4, I saw a Beetle, like a Austin Mini, and Triumph Spitfire, because my dad actually lived and worked in England earlier. Like I wasn't born then, but he had this like connection to Triumph Spitfire. So I was like, yeah, but they're quite cool cars. But he actually saw this 2CV one day in a parking lot with a big, you know, where the grocery, you know, the home mart section, like, it was a big parking lot. So we saw this, and he saw this 2CV, and then he came to me one day. He's like, maybe you can look for a Citroen 2CV. I was like, okay. And then I saw one, not so far where we live, and I was like, okay, maybe we can look and you know, call the owner and look at the car. So he was like, yeah, sure. So we went there, and the story was quite amazing, because the car was like sitting in a small garage, was sitting there for like 10 years. So you can imagine the smell, and you know, it was like rat poo in it. It was covered in dust and you know, spider webs. It was quite like a shocking first introduction to each other. It was like, whoa, okay, this is quite massive, but it was cheap. So it was only like 1,000 pounds. So around there. So it was like, okay, it was quite cheap, and I didn't have, you know, we didn't have the time to drive, you know, cross continents and try to find a 2CV or like drive around Sweden. We just needed one close by so we can look and maybe take it for a drive, but this one we couldn't start. So because the engine was not 100% complete and you know, covered in dirt and rat poo and stuff like that. So the starting process became a later process. So the first thing was like, okay, is the car rust free? And he told me, okay, go underneath the car and look at the chassis and the doors and stuff like that, the bulkhead. I was like, okay, the chassis was, you know, covered with this paint chip cover, like this black.
Oh, it will be undersealed.
Yeah, undersealed. Yeah, that's correctly. Yeah, undersealed. Yeah. So it was covered with this undersealed protection. So it was hard to actually see what was hiding underneath. But I took my trusty screwdriver and just poked and looked and saw like, okay, yeah, I think it's quite okay, but it's not 100% like solid. But I think it's good enough. So my dad looked at it and said, yeah, I think you're right, son. So, and then we heard the story, because the owner that sold me the car, he was the son of the previous owner. So he told me that his dad didn't have the time, and he passed away. And his son didn't have the skills or the big interest into like rescue the car. So that's why the car was sitting there for 10 years. And then that's why I became quite interesting, because they told me the whole family was actually there, because this car meant so much to them. So there was quite like, they want to know what was my plan with it. Will I like rescue it in a good way, or just like modify it and destroy the car? So they really wanted me to ensure them that I will like rescue the car in a good fashion way and give it a new sense of life. I was like, okay, I was 17 back then, so I was like, okay, I promise you, the whole family, I will rescue the car. I will try to restore it the best possible way I can. So they sold the car to me, and that was the project. So we took a few weeks to like look through the car and see what is what, because it's a different sense when you have a lot of time, when you have the car on your own like ground, you know, your parking lot and garage. Then you can really see everything and really poke and really like dig deep into it. So, and then we saw that, okay, the chassis was actually quite worse than we actually thought, because when you see it in the daylight and you can really have time to poke around, then you saw, okay, the chassis is not quite so bad, but it was not 100% good, if you know what I mean. So it was like so. My dad told me, like, okay, we will try to fix it as much as possible, because I really want you, son, to enjoy the car first. Because can you enjoy the car, then you will get the energy to actually go through the whole process to restore the car, like from bottom up. Because he told me that so many people they take too much in at once, and then halfway they're like, oh shit, this is a big mountain to climb. Too much time, too much money. So the whole summer were actually planned now. So we were just working like side by side, father and son. So it was very nice. We were outside in the rain, in the summer heat, in the wind. We're just trying to fix the car.
Yeah.
And then 1 year after that, I was like March the following year, I was turning 18. So I was studying for my driver license, and I passed that. And I didn't have a car yet, but the car was actually on its way to be completed. So that spring, me and my father just fixed up like everything we could do at that point. So tried to do like go through the electrics, try to start the car, try to feel like, okay, everything's working well, and the gearbox, and the brake system. Yeah, the brake system was quite a big worry for my dad, because he told me like, well, everybody knows that brakes are quite important, but on old classic cars, it's even more important, because you don't have, the safety airbags and ABS. So whatever you have, you need to make sure that it works 100%. So we went through the brakes a couple of times just to be sure that everything works correctly. So then we took the car to the MOT, and the car passed, and we were so happy.
So you were doing something. You were doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, some point of the restoration. I mean, because it was only like moi that was working on the car. My father was having this camping chair with him. He was like sitting there beside me.
Yeah.
And I asked him some questions. He was like, yeah, but I think you should think about it in this way, and can you look at that problem in that way? So he was just trying to nudge me into the right mindset, but he was quite restrictive with the information. He wanted me to think and be creative myself.
Yeah.
So if I was stuck, he wanted me to try like maybe once or twice before he would like give me the answer or let me into the answer. So at that point we were actually quite happy. This was 2012, so and I was quite done with my with the paper report. I received the top like MVG, so it was top notch, so good solid grade. So I was very pleased. So I was actually I think I had the best paper report. So I was quite happy with that because this was a live restoration. So everything I wrote down was actually the way it happened. So it was no like you take information here and make it your own. This was the information. This was my own project. So it was something else. It was more like emotion into the paper or into the to the whole project itself. So and then he asked me, so what's your plan now, son? So I was like, I'm thinking about going through the moving to Luleå. I was like, okay, why? Because my dad actually, when he was young, he was in the military and he worked with in the Air Force, and he had flew in some planes from Cessna in his young days, and he was like, like I said, he always loved like machines and cars and motorcycles, but airplanes, that was a sweet spot for him. So I was quite proud that I was actually following in his footsteps. I was like, okay, I will move to Luleå and become a aircraft or helicopter technician, actually to both. And because one of my strong passions were actually Formula One, because when I was quite young, like 6 years old, I raced in like go-karts and stuff like that. So I had this passion, when you see Michael Schumacher, you saw like Lewis Hamilton on TV, I was like, yeah, that would be something. So like, so, and I looked up the what you need to have to become one of the Formula One like mechanics. And I received the email I emailed like, Ferrari and everybody. And I received actually an email that told me that you need to have an aircraft technician background. I was like, okay, maybe I can take two birds in one swing. So I was like, I can be a helicopter and airplane technician, and maybe I can join the Formula One team or something like that, or just become a racing mechanic. So that was my plan. So I moved to Luleå. I received actually the answer from the school that I was passed. So I came in. So that was very nice. And that summer, this is 2013 right now, or not summer, it was more like springtime. Me and my dad, we had this plan to go and see Formula One. We talked about to go to Silverstone first, but then we talked about maybe we should go to Hungary, to Budapest, and see the race over there. Maybe we can take the car. We can take the 2CV as a father and son road trip. But then, like the weeks after, he was like coughing quite bad, and he was feeling very, very like sick. And then we took him to the hospital, and they told him or us that he had lung cancer, and the whole plan changed, and the mood just changed. So we didn't actually know what to do, and he was quite sad, and I was sad, and like, well, what should we do? And he told me like, okay, do like this, take your sister. I really want you guys to go on a road trip, like, and to be close to your sister, because in life, family is the most important thing. And right now, I need to rest. I will not be able to go on this trip with you. So take your sister. I was like, okay.
So you ended up going to Spain, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. So the plan was the first time with my dad was to go and see Formula One, but all of that changed. So I just took my sister and we went to Spain, to Barcelona. So no Formula One, just me and my sister on a road trip. So we went to Barcelona because he wanted me to get this connection with the car, just to be proud about what we have done so far, and to bring my sister along to, to just have this big sister, brother and sister love and connection with each other. So we went off. Like, I was 20 and she was 17. So I don't know actually how my mom let us go, but she was quite worried. She was quite worried actually. So we had a fantastic road trip, and like everything went very well. We have actually a very fun story because we were at the Alps. It was a point where we were driving in the Alps. The car was suffering because it was quite hot that day, and you can imagine only having like 602 cc and around 30 horsepower, 32, but some horses have actually escaped back then, but now it's brought back. So, but then when we were in the top of that, hill climb on the Alps, then we needed to go down again. So we saw this, SOS like parking spaces, but all of those parking spaces were like hold up by big lorries, because you can see like overheated brakes everywhere. Like you can see some lorries actually. It was this big thick smoke from the brakes, and I just had this feeling like, okay, because it's drum brakes all around. It was quite steep, and just like holding the brake in a quite long bit, you started to notice that the brake was like getting quite weird, like a sponge. So
you'll be getting brake fade.
Exactly. And my sister was like looking at me like in a very strange way. It was like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, no problem. And then I just felt like the brake was like, okay, now it's really bad. So I just let go. And trying to, cross between the traffic and just let go. Because the brake was almost 100% gone. So at that point, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be fun. And then we saw like this Italian cop, this policeman with this, laser beam speedo sensor. He was like, I saw him targeting my car. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And then we just passed him by. And then you hear this, this signal like, woo! And he came after us. And then I noticed that my brake is getting quite cool now, so I could stop the car. And the policeman was screaming in Italian like, oh! And he was like trying to explain in English, well, why didn't you stop? Why are you going so fast? And I told him, overheated brakes. But he thought I was lying. So I opened the hood, because in the 2CV you have inboard brakes. Yeah. You can actually see, you saw the smoke. You can feel the brake smell. Like burn the brakes or burn the clutch. It was like so strong. It was like, okay, I see now why you couldn't stop. So, and I told him like, it was quite awkward moment. We looked at each other. It was like, okay, you have a beautiful car, so never mind. Just go. Okay. Thank you, officer. so yeah.
Now, when you were returning from Spain, you discovered that the car had another slight problem.
Yeah, exactly. Because when we were in Barcelona, we actually thought that, it may be time to go back home, because we had this quite, we talked with each other, me and my dad talked with each other quite a lot, and my sister, of course. And my mom told us, gave us some updates about how he was feeling. So then we started to think, maybe it's time to go go back home. So we, we're actually planning to go the other side around Europe to go past Belgium this time. And I noticed that before I was like Googling like Citroen 2CV specialist, because I was actually planning to buy some parts and talk to some mechanics, some pros, specialists. So I took the car to them, and they looked at the car, because I had this quite strange feeling, because I was driving around Belgium, and they're quite famous for this, stone. I don't know how to say it, but it's
the famous Belgian paved roads. Belgium is famous for having some of the worst roads in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. So it was potholes, and there was like this stone tarmac, and it was quite harsh ride. Some like specific areas where we're driving, and then I started to notice this quite unusual flexing. So I thought it was the suspension, but then I just had this quite, I don't know, this stomach feeling that something isn't quite right. So I talked to the mechanic, and I told him, can you look at the car? Can you take it on the lift and just look, and hopefully just something easy to fix? And he took the car on the lift, and you can hear him like, oh my God, oh shit. Like, oh, wow. And I was like standing there like, okay, this isn't good. Okay. And I like told him or asked him like, have you found anything? He was like, yeah, this is a quite big problem here. And then he just pointed me at some nasty like cracks on the frame.
Yeah.
And he took a screwdriver, and he had the flashlight. He was like poking. And but can you see this? But yeah, you have two massive cracks on the frame. That's why you feel that the car is flexing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's not good. But no, that's really really bad. Okay. And he told me like, if I were you, I would order like a transport firm and transport the car to Sweden.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be driving this, because if that fails, it's finito. It's done.
Yeah.
If you are on the highway, so I mean, it's very very serious. I was like, okay. And then I received the phone call that my dad was very very ill, and he was rushed into hospital. And you had that moment where you actually didn't know what to do. Should I just be here in Belgium and deal with all the hustle, with the like transportation firms and stuff like that, or just take a chance, a leap of faith, and just go with the car and come home? And my sister was quite nervous, and I can tell, because her face was actually very, very like pale. It was like, what should we do? But I don't know. So I just went with my gut feeling. I just had one knee on the ground, put my hand on the hood or bonnet, and I just told the car, if you take us home, I don't care how much it will cost, I don't care how long it will take, I will restore you to 100% like mint condition.
Yeah.
I promise you that. So I just went off. And the car mechanic was looking at me like with crazy eyes, like, okay, you're a very stupid guy. Okay. so I just went. I didn't want to look at the rear mirror. I didn't want to see him, the mechanic. I just went. And we actually made it. So this is where it gets very, very spooky. This is where I really believe that the universe or God or somewhere or something, some power actually hurt me, because when I put the reverse in and backed the car into my parking lot, then and shut down the engine or shut off the engine, then you can hear this crack.
Yeah.
And that was the point. The frame actually cracked. So I was like crying. I was like, oh my god, shit, wow, we made it. And okay,
so basically, you got back home. The car got you back home, and it snapped in half.
Yeah. It snapped in half, and you can see that in the steering column. So it snapped in half at the you know, the front where the engine is the engine in the gearbox. You can actually see it's a quite like a strong bulk section there on the frame. So you saw that a big crack appeared there. So the frame was done. It was finito. So, but we made it. So that was a victory. And from that day, I had this feeling in my stomach. Okay, I will. A promise is a promise. So when I actually took my other car and rushed to the hospital, I talked to my dad and told him that we had just back here, and the frame was actually cracked at the parking lot, and he was like looking at the sky, like the ceiling, and was like, "Oh, thank you." Oh, thank you. He was very happy. He was very happy about, wow, I really am very glad that you took your sister and everything went well. And the only part that actually stopped working along the way in our road trip was the radio. So because it was an aftermarket radio I bought in a second-hand market. So that was the only thing that actually broke. So I was quite happy with my success. So, but then we had this, emotional moment. Me and my dad, we talked about what to do with the car, and I told him, at this point right now, I need to plan for a big restoration of nuts and bolts. He was like, you should, and you should honor the universe, and a promise is a promise, and you should be a man with integrity. So that was one of my quite first lessons from my dad from early age, that you should always keep your promises.
So from there you have completely restored the car, haven't you? It's like being back to brand new.
Yeah, from that point, after I was like saying goodbye to my dad, and the day after we actually spoke, he passed away. And before that, actually, I told him I will restore the car to your glory and to the universe 5 years from now. And he was like he was like emotional, because he was like, I'm sorry that I couldn't go the whole way with you, and I'm sorry that we couldn't finish what we started, because I really wanted to be there when we do the big restoration. But right now, you are the man now, and you should be able to tackle this problem yourself.
Yeah.
And I have faith in you, my son. And that was actually the final word. And I left the hospital. I said I loved him, and I will fix the car, restore the car 5 years from now. And then he passed away. And then I started 2014. I planned for everything, what I needed to do. And from that point, 5 years into the future, I had the car completely finished. I had a brand new chassis, a brand new body shell, because the body was so bad. When you started to actually calculate the hours to actually complete the rust, to cut everything off away, and welding new panels and welding everything. And some of the welding I needed to have some good welder or profession, a pro. So some of the work I couldn't handle myself. So when you start to calculate everything, then you see okay, this is going to be very, very, very expensive. So I actually went to buying a brand new body shell, and just to know that everything is brand new and everything is good, like the metal is good, and the good point was that the body shell was galvanized as well. So you have a galvanized chassis, you have a galvanized body shell, and the engine I took and just went through the whole engine, nut and bolts. So I restored the whole engine, new cylinder heads, new pistons, new rings, new almost everything was new on the engine. And I power coated all the, the cooling, not fans, but this cooling plate,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called looms, but yeah, cooling plate.
Yeah.
And it's surrounded around, the cylinder and stuff like that. So yeah, so I went through the whole car, new electrics, new seats, new 2 new doors, new roof, like almost the whole, like 95% of the car when I was finished was brand new.
Yeah.
So it took 5 years and 2,000 hours, and to finish off the car, I wanted to mark the car with the date my father passed away. So in the paper, in the classic sports car magazine, you can see that the car has this number 7 on the door, and that number 7 is the date that my father passed away. So I wanted something of him to be in the car. So
because the car is also called Valentine, which was your father's middle name.
Yeah, exactly. And Valentine was his middle name. So I wanted, because actually from that point I didn't have a name for the car. I just called it, the little Citroen. So I didn't have a name for the car, and so it was so certain that the car will be called Valentine, and the car will have number 7 on it. So the lucky number 7. So
from there, you've driven it to Croatia and back.
Yeah. So last year, 2019, I had the car MOT'd in May, and the car passed. Actually, it was quite funny because the MOT guy, he was like, "Wow, we have a very pretty 2CV here." And it was like, "Have you built the car from ground up?" I was like, "Yes." He was like, "Okay, I will bet you like £2 that if I can find any faults, because when you do a big restoration like that, you're quite certain to miss something, like something maybe is not 100% correct." So it was like, "Okay, if I will find something, then you will pay full price, or if I don't find anything, I will give you a good price for the MOT." I was like, "Okay." So okay, game's on. So he was like looking. He actually took in a friend. So there were 2 MOT guys in my car. They was like looking through the brake lines, looking through everything. It was like, "Wow, this car is brand new." And then I told him, "Did you find anything?" "No, the brake test at the MOT center was like perfect. All the brakes are perfect. Everything was perfect." So I got a quite good discount. I was very happy that the car passed. So, and then I planned to go to because I knew that Citroen was holding this 100-year celebration outside Paris. So I wanted to go to Citroen to have, the car back on the road again.
Yeah.
And to let my father know that the car is back, and to bring along my sister this time. Because the first time I had my sister, and this time I had my sister, and we took a quite nice photo. I don't know, because I don't have actually received the magazine yet. So I don't know how it all looks.
All right, you've got a very, very nice 2-page spread in the magazine. If listeners are wondering, it's in Gabriel's stories in the latest edition of Classic and Sports Car. The photographs of him with the car and out and about on his travels. So, this is absolutely fantastic, Gabriel. As I said, when I read the story, I thought this is something that listeners to the Backseat Drive radio show will find fascinating. So, the only thing I can say, Gabriel, is thank you very much for your time. Thank you for producing an absolutely fantastic story. This is the sort of classic car stories why people do what they do with classic cars.
Exactly. And thank you, Mark, because I just wanted to, I don't know if I can actually inform you with another thing, that right now, actually, I have written a book called Automotive Legacy, because that book has inspired me to inspire more young people, because when I'm talking with older, like, car enthusiasts, they're so happy that young people like myself, are very interested in classic cars, and that is something I want to keep doing. Try to inspire more people, because it's. I mean, for me, it's two types of car people outside in the world. It's like the people that like cars, and some people actually love and love every aspect of a car, like driving it, the smell of it, the lines of it. And I really want to empower more like young people to get involved in that lifestyle. So that's why with this story, I couldn't just sit there and holding my story for myself. I just wanted to, get out there and just trying to inspire more people, because I know that some young people are quite lost. They don't know what to do. They don't know if they can tackle a restoration project like this. And I can proudly tell them and inform them or inspire them that they can. Just if you have enough driven passion for what you're doing, you can actually tackle most restoration. So I think it's a great because you learn so much. You get skills that you thought you never would have before, and you're growing up and you're starting to know that I'm quite good. I'm not useless, if you know what I mean. I'm quite good with my hands. I'm skilled, and you have something for you going. So that was my point. So everybody that's listening to this, I just wanted to say I'm quite proud to be a part of the classic car movement. I'm very proud to know that I actually know that my father is looking down and very pleased to see the results. And I'm very glad that, my book, Automotive Legacy, is actually out in Amazon.co.uk. So it's a fantastic book where it's a balance between a magazine and a book, something like a coffee book, something nicely to read, easy to read, and something fun for everybody that is car enthusiast and people that are starting to become a car enthusiast. So that is everything I want to say.
That is absolutely fantastic, Gabriel. Gabriel Lindström and Valentine 7, thank you so much for joining me on the Backseat Drive radio show. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you over in Sweden. And once again, Gabriel, thank you very much indeed.
Rarely beaten on price, never beaten on service. Whether it's cars, bikes or commercials, Hoddy Tyres are the best in the business. And when it comes to tyre expertise and advice to supplying the correct tyres for your vehicle's specific requirements, nobody comes close to David Lakin and the Hoddy Tyres team. So give them a call on 01200 613 192 or visit the website at hoddytyres.co.uk.